What is going on, everybody? I'm joined by Phil Barker, host of Superhero Stress, which does have an announcement to make about his podcast, Superhero Stress. Phil, you want to start with that?
I mean, I wasn't planning on doing that until I put the next episode out.
Really? I'm sorry. I didn't even put you on blast, man. Well, we'll get to that later. Anyhow, so guys, stay tuned for some big announcements from Superhero Stress. But first of all, guys, welcome to the show. So I'm doing this at a new time. I'm doing this at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time because it works better for my home life, and I'd rather be out a little bit later anyway instead of trying to do it in the middle of the day when it's really hard. And anyway, you know, it is what it is. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and consider being a member and join the Patreon to help support the channel. Big shout out to everyone who's over on Patreon as well. Where the hell did that go? There it is. Everyone who's over on Patreon as well, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And everyone over on the membership side of things, thank you for being a member and supporting this channel. So thank you very, very much. You guys kick ass. So I want to share this with you guys. So this happened yesterday, I want to say. Maybe the day before that.
Can I just point something out?
What's that?
I am not Ryan.
You're not Ryan.
I am not Ryan, as the thumbnail you
as
made.
The thumbnail says. So Ryan is going to stop by, and I'm going to say this, everybody, so you guys know. Ryan has been consuming alcoholic beverages tonight, and so he is going to join us from his car ride to another bar while under the influence. So we'll see how he reacts when he gets here. So until then, it's just me, it's just Phil, and we're going to go right into this. Now, there was a tweet... There was a tweet that got released the other day. I thought it was hilarious. It was a picture, really. I think Axel Droga did it, and then I made it into a tweet. But I just thought it was too fucking funny. So let's jump to that real quick. Where's that thing at? Where is it at?
Where's it at?
On. Right here. So this is Steppenwolf in many ways. This is if Dawson was Steppenwolf. All it is a paraglide. I just thought it was funny. I don't know why. I was just like, oh my god.
I mean, I wanted to react to it, but I'm in Twitter timeout, so I can't.
Yeah, he's in Twitter timeout. But speaking of Dawson Wiedrich, here is he's going to be at Big Lit Comics Comic-Con for Batman Day. He's going to have his own booth there. So if you're near that area, wherever the fuck this is at, definitely check it out. It doesn't say where it's at, so I can't. Maybe if I go, nope, he didn't do that either. Anyway, he'll be offering his little sticky notes and some cool stuff. So definitely check that out. But Dawson's gonna have his own table at Big Lick Comic-Con for Batman Day. So very, very, very cool. So definitely check that out. So let's go to the chat.
I didn't even realize it was Batman Day coming up. Like, I knew it was in September,
know.
But it's like it's. I think about it. It's like, wow, it's already been like a year since Batman Day.
It's already been a year. It's crazy. We got Jesse Allen here saying, "Hey, what's up?" We got Kinky Sphincter in the house saying, "Let's go, getting some Chick-fil-A." Chick-fil-A's bomb, dude. I'll tell you that. We got Fear Jason in the chat saying, "Yo, what up?" We got Abel Valdez in the chat saying, "Yo, Axel Droga 52 is a member of the channel saying, what up, y'all?" And we got Niner for life. Hey, you know what, man? The Niners have seen better days. They will see better days. It was a rough game. It was a rough game. Bad weather. The weather didn't help. Okay, they were hydroplaning everywhere. You know, Angie likes to stay up late. Yes, I do. And now this show, what we're gonna do is basically it's gonna be on Mondays. But on certain days or certain weeks, I might move it to the day before my day off so I can stay up late and not have to worry about it. So that might change, but I'll always let you guys know, of course. And if you guys are on Patreon, I'm going to drop another tinfoil hat article where basically it's just me theorizing on just as actually when I write it. When I actually write these, this is me right. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here it is.
When you write it, you actually put on a tinfoil
hat.
I
actually put on a tinfoil hat and I stare into a mirror and then I just start typing. Basically, all it is, it's just fan theory that I put out there, and it's just a lot of fun to do it. And I'd love to get you guys' feedback. So definitely join the Patreon. You guys can read those. And of course, as I've said before, anything that I hear from anybody, I'm not a scooper, but anything I hear from anybody, I put it on there. And I share it with you guys. You know, other guys do it too. Like Dave Pena will do that. If you hear something, he'll throw it on there. And so if I hear anything from anybody that I think is legit. I'll put it on there and share it with you guys because fucking why not? So definitely check that out. The link's down below in the chat if you want to join the Patreon. He's already trolling in the chat. Hey, who's that guy? How do you know? It's because I told them, you fucking idiot. Anyway, we got Nerd Coaster Nostra saying, "What's up, guys? What's going on, man?" We got Jamie saying, "What's up? What's up?" Wow. Andrew Casali up in the chat.
Kobe lover.
I hadn't even mentioned Spider-Man yet, and he showed up. That's great. That's great news. Always love seeing Casali in the chat. But, okay, so we talked about Dawson. That's great. We have some more breaking news that I found a little while ago. Let's check that out. All right, come on, Andrew. Get out of there.
I saw this.
So this is the first look at Tyler Hoechlin's new suit for Superman and Lois Season 3. Now, to me, already, this looks a lot better. Still got the fake muscles, but for sure. It's very fabric. And that's the biggest change, is that they went from that textured suit to more of like a fabric-like suit. I thought it was cool at first, but I don't know. I mean, those boots look too big for him as well. See down here?
It's like cowboy boots.
Like cowboy boots. I feel better that you got Phil with you.
I decided not to consume alcohol tonight, Ryan. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, I should get a beer just to join Ryan, but I'm not. That's in the other room. I don't want to get up.
I mean, I've got Jameson, but I'm not. No, I'm good. Not tonight. I got to work tomorrow. You know, do adult things. What's
up, Caleb? Hey, Caleb, if you want a link, let me know, and I'll send you one if you're free to stream with us as well. Ryan now looks like a drunk Peter Griffin. Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much.
Yeah, he's had a little too much to drink, so he might join us, and he might sound a little something like this. I don't know.
You know what's funny is that, so like my kids are really into like Despicable Me 3 or just Despicable Me and Minions. Okay, like all of a sudden now they're just like really into it, right? And so in Despicable Me 3, the main villain with his name was Balthazar Bart or something like that, or Balthazar Brat. And when he was like, when the character talks, I'm like, man, I don't know. It like his voice sounds so familiar. Like what's it from? You know,
Seth MacFarlane.
So it wasn't him, but it was a voice actor who does multiple voices on South Park. And so I was like, oh, that's the guy. I was like, damn, there it is. It's a funny movie though. Dawson is also busy with the Mummy Show. Hey, shout out to Nerd Coaster Nostra, man, for sending him that. That was cool.
That was funny. I'm driving home yesterday. Dawson sends me a text, and I hardly ever answer my phone or look at my phone when I'm driving because I don't text and drive. But I was at a red light, a fresh red light, and I was at a turn red light. A fresh red light,
not a stale one
in a turn lane. So and there were cars coming, obviously. So I just had some time. I glanced at it, and it's Dawson holding the Mummy collection, and I just start cracking up because I was
like, oh my god,
it's too funny. So props to Nerd Coaster Nostra for that one. That was great. Yeah. I was considering.
Point, man.
It's funny. I was considering as Christmas this year. I wasn't gonna tell anybody about this. For Christmas this year, I considered getting Dawson like 2 copies of Mummy: The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor on DVD and Blu-ray. But now Nerd Coaster Nostra saved me the trouble doing so.
He did. He bailed you out. Trey Parker. I don't know. What's Trey Parker?
Trey Parker is one of the two. It's Trey Parker and Matt Stone who do South Park. Trey Parker does a lot of voices. Oh, yeah,
Trey Parker. Yes, that was the voice, yeah. Hey, guys! So, going back to this image, that's not it. Going back to this one here, it looks like they gave him more of a fabric suit that looks like not velvet, but it looks like microfiber. I don't know. But they got rid of the textured suit, which I actually prefer the textured suit. I just thought they should have, like, cut down his fake muscles a bit, but... You know, I don't know.
I kind of like the emblem. I don't know how I feel about the rest of it. I mean, honestly, when I see this, I feel like it's kind of knockoff isn't the right word, but it feels like an attempt at doing the Man of Steel suit in darker shades with a much more profound S.
But not even that though. I mean, the Man of Steel suit had the texturing that his previous suit had, and his S had, I think, also had some texturing on it too. Now it's more of like a standardized. I almost feel like they wanted to give him his own original look and not have it, look like similar to what Cavill had. So they gave him this. His belt is totally different. Still no red trunks. So for all the red trunks crybabies out there, you're going to have to cry at least for one more season because he's not going to have red trunks on.
What's really jarring is like if you look at the top of the cape where it goes into the shoulders, it looks more red. It looks lighter red than the rest of the cape, which looks a lot darker red. And that's just, first glance. And like even the abs section, I'm looking at that and I'm just like, why does that look just like Henry Cavill's suit? It looks just like his. I don't know why, but
I don't know. So anyway, there's Tyler Hoechlin. I don't really know what to make of it. It is what it is. I don't even watch the damn show, but I tell myself that I'm going to, but then I never actually do it because,
season 2's on HBO Max, and I've thought about jumping into it, but I don't know because like by the 11th or 12th episode of season 1, I was done. I just couldn't because like the whole plot of him having a brother and it being not Morgan Edge, I was like, this is goofy. I can't stand this.
Goofy. But you know what? One show that we are watching that we're big fans of is House of the Dragon. And here we go. Let's talk about House of the Dragon, shall we? Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about House of the Dragon episode 4. Now, this was such a good fucking... I loved it. I don't know about you, Phil, but I actually really, really liked this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. Rhaenyra she got in some deep, deep shit. And she
got something deep, that's for sure.
Yes, very, very much so. Okay, so the episode starts out with Rhaenyra basically having like a dating show where she gets to pick the person she's gonna marry, and it's an absolute joke. You got all these guys there. One guy is like twice her age. He's trying to coax her into marrying her, and she's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing this shit.
And then like a 10-year-old walks up and is just
a 10-year-old.
Like he's all like, like he's about ready to change pants, and it's
exactly. And then dude's like talking shit to him. They get into a fight, and the kid kills him, which I was like, holy fuck, he did. That was nuts, dude.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this. Actually, we talked a lot about this on World's Finest on Sunday night. Like, we kind of bounced around, but this was a fun episode, and I mean that in the loosest way possible, because there was there were some things that happened in this episode where, well, Anthony's got a really great word when some shit happens on Game of Thrones where, from a modern day perspective, you look at that situation and be like, that's a little grimy. Well, the majority of the episode, I think, fits under the category of grimy.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, hold on, let me put this in the chat. Episode 4, yes or no? So the question's out there. Did you like House of the Dragon episode 4? So go ahead and leave your vote in there, and I'll share with you guys as we go on. So, look, in the last episode, we saw that Daemon Targaryen came through, and he fucking killed the crap eater. He fucking what do you call it? Like, he just cut him in half, and it wasn't a clean cut. Yeah, it was like at an angle, guts hanging out. It was bad. So he comes back to King's Landing, and he actually interacts with his brother, Viserys, in a very honorable way. And so you think to yourself again, you see him do these things, you see him show up like this, and you go, okay, I think that he's changed. Maybe he learned something when he was out there. But as this episode goes on, we learn that Daemon is going to be Daemon, and he's going to do some shit. And what does he do? But he takes out Rhaenyra out on the town. Okay? And this is just after she finally has a positive interaction with Lady Alicent, the queen.
Right.
She has a positive interaction with her where she actually even holds hands with her, because at the end of the day, she still misses her. And they miss each other. They miss what they had in terms of being, best friends. And Alicent actually is truthful with her and tells her, hey, I don't have very many friends these days. You know, like pretty much like I miss just being your friend. And then she sort of felt like, yeah, you know what? Like I honestly, you know, she didn't say it, but in so many words, she was like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And so it was just really cool to see that. And they still had a little bit of a connection, but holy fuck. This
You know what I found out
episode,
yesterday?
what?
The actress who plays Allison Hightower was 12-year-old Wonder Woman. In
Yes,
Wonder Woman.
I
She was
saw that
young
too.
Diana.
That's
I was
fucking
like-
crazy. So was she in Wonder Woman 84?
No, she was. No, because it was the younger actress who reprised the role for the tournament thing opening they did in
That's
'84.
right. There was a mid, huh?
Yeah,
the first
because
one, yeah.
in the first one they show her at age like 7, and then they show her at age 12 being
Yeah.
trained by Antiope, and the age 12 actress is
That's
Emily
right, that's
Casey,
right.
who's
Yeah,
now Allison Hightower.
I read that. I was like, holy shit. And I actually like her, the actress. I think she did. All of them are doing a very, very good job on the show. I mean, to me, there isn't any actor that is kind of like, you know, mailing it in. I think they're all just fucking on point. But, so, after that positive interaction, Damon decides to leave.
He
Go
cut
ahead.
his hair too.
He cut his hair, yeah. So he cut his hair short, which again gives you the impression that he's more refined. He's come around. You know what I mean?
Oh, he comes around.
He comes around because him and Damon and Rhaenyra have an interaction at the party, and again, I you know, just like in the first episode, you're still getting those vibes, kind of like, are they flirting? Are they just really good friends? Like, I don't really get it, but Targaryens are known to fuck each other, so it wouldn't surprise me. So here we go. She goes into her room, and what does she find? She finds that there's a package waiting for her. And Phil, what's in the package? What's in the box?
Completely different set of clothes and a map showing where a hidden panel is in her room. And where does this panel take her? It takes her outside King's Landing. And who does she run into? Good old Uncle Damon.
And he's
Also-
waiting for her.
Yeah, he's
waiting.
in like a Robin Hood kind of robe, and like they go out and they see what happens in the nightlife of King's Landing.
Yes.
And they see a mockery going on someone trying to mock who's on the throne, and they kind of mock the king a little bit, and she's kind of taken aback by it, but she has to wear a hat to hide her hair and hide the fact that, you know, the princess of King's Landing is running about, right?
Exactly. Doesn't bother me. Yes, that word fits well. The episode reminds me of the time I went hunting with Dick Cheney. Okay, there we go. So they go out, and he essentially takes her out to different areas, like you were saying, and then they end up at a brothel,
Right.
where he sort of teaches her, or he shows her that, you know, sex is not just about, you know, reproduction of, you know, based on your genes and your heritage or whatever, that it's also a form of pleasure.
Right.
And it can be promiscuous, you know, and I think that her having learned that, I mean, I don't think she saw sex in that way before. But not only that,
He also kind of instills in her that, you know, you're royalty. You can do whatever the hell you want, regardless
Exactly.
of what ever you're being told to do. You can do whatever the hell you want, regardless of any kind of consequence that may come with it. He's of this idea that just because he's of royal blood and he's a Targaryen, he can literally do whatever or whoever he wants. And, well,
but we learn later on in the show that more or less applies to men than it does to women.
yes.
And that's what she doesn't quite understand yet, because she's still kind of battling with that idea that, like, you know, she wants to be herself. She wants to have her own rights in a sense, right? So here they go. They're in the brothel. They're watching everyone get it on and fuck each other. And you're just like, what is about to happen now? And then all of a sudden, they start to kiss each other, and they start, I mean, his impotence played a part in this as well.
Oh, for sure.
But I really believe that, like, based on the fact that she actually, once he started to kind of move on her, she engaged, as opposed to being like, no, we can't do this, or get scared or apprehensive. She was like, yeah, let's go. And I think that kind of was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, again, you know, for him, he was supposed to be in charge. He was supposed to be like in a position of power while they were there. Instead, you know, she was like, she was basically saying, bring it on. And he just said, fuck it. And then he left her there.
Right. Pants down and everything.
pants down, everything. Just I'm out. Fuck. So he leaves, right? And then little do we know that she's got somebody following her around, which that little kid goes and tells the Hand of the King, Otto Hightower, what's going on. Now, Otto Hightower takes it upon himself to tell the king that Rhaenyra was seen outside of the keep, and that she was at a brothel, and that she was getting it on with Daemon. And he doesn't really believe her.
And then she went home because she couldn't get it on with Daemon and went and promptly got it on with Sir Cole.
Yes.
Which was like, yeah, I kind of anticipated that. But she was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go full skank tonight. I don't even care.
Well, because at that point she was looking at like, yeah, you know what? Like having sex can be kind of fun, you know what I mean? Like I want to fuck this guy. Let's do it, Someone's gonna clip that. Watch. Like, damn it. And so that's what she does. She lures him in, and they essentially get it on pretty quickly as she slowly takes his armor off,
which felt like an age-old type of deal. Like it took forever to get his armor off.
And he didn't stop her, but I felt like he knew, like, yeah. We're teaching about the birds and the bees. So, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel because here it comes. Sir Adam Cole, baby. But no, it's so. And so here we go. So she gets it on with him, right? And at this point, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do because, like, she might get pregnant. I'm like, oh god. But then, okay, so Otto Hightower fucking rats her out. Okay, look at that. Somebody clip that. Fucking Venom.
Well, we should also mention, like, all the while, the Daemon is, kind of instilling into Rhaenyra about all this. It's intercut with Alicent and King Viserys having some of the most awkward, boring sex imaginable.
Yeah. She's above him, just like, ugh.
And he's got rotting flesh all over him, and she's
like
just
fucking
got this
dying above her. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She's just got this fucking bored look on her face, like, oh, please, can this just end?
But I don't know. It's like it sucks because like I don't think like I rewatched the first episode with my wife the other day, and like I don't think she actually wanted to do what she's doing and be the queen, but her father wanted her to do that, and so she was just doing that. So it's very awkward. But yeah, so they're having some awkward sex in the king's chamber, and so when Otto Hightower does tell King Viserys that your daughter was seen outside doing this, doing that, and fucking having fun with your brother, he doesn't really believe him.
Well, he couldn't even spit it out with like. He couldn't even spit out the right words. He danced around it as best as he could until Viserys was just like, would you just fucking get on with it and accuse my daughter of whatever you're accusing her of? It's way too early for this shit.
It's like watching British porn. So he tells her, he tells the king, and in turn, this actually ends up backfiring on him because, there's only one way that he could have known that was going to happen, and that was if he had somebody following her. And I think that, having, Rhaenyra tell the king, essentially kind of putting it in his face, like, hey, you got to think about this. Like, the only reason why he knows is because he's sending people to follow. He's had people following me around because he wants to fucking trash me because he wants his son or his godson or his grandson to be the king. And so that's when Viserys finally figures it out. Like, holy shit, this motherfucker was playing me the entire goddamn time. And so because of that, what's up, Nova Joe? And because of that, he basically dismisses Otto Hightower as the Hand of the King. He even takes off his fucking badge. I was like,
take that from you? Yeah, that ain't you anymore, Chief.
But he even said he served 2 other kings, I want to say, before him. So I was like, and he tell him, he's like, you taught me how to be a king. And, the crown is forever in your debt. But I can't have you as my Hand of the King anymore because your judgment is compromised. Which is true. He realized that. Like, look, the fact that you had somebody following around my daughter, it's like, you want to tell him, like, thank you for doing that because I wanted to know about this. But at the same time, it's like, why were you doing that? and more than likely you were doing it because you were trying to find a reason to fuck her over and to, disgrace her name so that I would name your grandson heir of the throne.
Right. He flat out told him, he's like, your interests no longer align with that of the kingdom. They align
exactly
with your own deeds. And it's like, ooh.
And King Viserys, like, he does some stuff that I'm just like, oh, come on, bro. But like overall, I mean, I don't think he's that bad of a person. And so he tends to give certain people the benefit of the doubt, like his brother,
his daughter, and
his daughter, his brother, and even Otto. He kind of gives him the benefit of the doubt because he's like, look, I know you must have good intentions. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But this time he finally says, enough is enough, dude. You're out.
Yep.
But now the question is, who's going to replace him?
I was thinking about that. Like, who do you get to replace Otto Hightower as the Hand, right? And wouldn't it be some shit? Because he just dismissed Daemon, so I don't see that happening.
I don't. I thought it would be, but I was like, no.
Because that's just too much of a turn for Viserys from a character perspective. And that would put Daemon even closer to the throne, which he does not want at all. But even when he's like, interrogating Daemon about that night in question, Daemon, he's just getting the shit kicked out of him. He's hungover. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, let me marry Rhaenyra. And it's like, you slimy SOB. Holy shnikes.
Exactly. But at the same time, though, he does say that's how we used to do things. That's how this family has done things throughout, throughout time. Right. And so it's telling of what's to come, I think, in the future for this family, because you already see Daemon trying to marry his niece.
Mm-hmm.
And he was all for that. And then King Viserys was like, no, get the fuck out of here, dude. Go back to your fucking wife and go be a man and get out of here.
Go back to your lawfully wedded wife. Not your common whore.
A common whore who he saw in the city.
Who was no longer a common whore.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But and that's pretty much where it ended. When the Queen Alicent confronted Rhaenyra, that was the first. I mean, like, you knew that she was so guilty because she's all of a sudden referring to Alicent as Your Grace. You know what I mean? Like, it's so telling of like, oh my god, dude, like, you're so guilty right now, because now all of a sudden you're trying to respect her and show her, like, oh, I respect you. You have, my attention, my authority. I was just like, oh man, come on.
But then she kind of flipped the script on her. She was like, you dare accuse me? That's treason. Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing.
She brought that up. And because, I mean, at the same time, she's trying to protect herself. And she's saying, who's ever accusing me of this, like you were saying, that's treason. And so she's kind of trying to put whoever is doing this kind of like, hey, whoever's doing this, they can get in trouble too, But at the end of the day, she still backed her up. She was like, I spoke to her, and she didn't call it virginity. She called it her.
Oh, damn it. The word just escaped me. It was,
not virginity. It was like her.
It was like, not sanctity. It was like,
oh, what was it? Let's see. Do we know how many seasons the show is planned? I don't know how many seasons it's planned.
4 or 5, I think, is what I've been hearing. Like 4 or 5, maybe 6
because
seasons. I don't know.
Based on the way they're jumping, it's definitely going to end at a certain point.
Yeah.
Sort of like Rings of Power. Like, they're jumping around a lot, and I'm like, okay, if you're going to jump around this much, then you're going to essentially, you have an end point. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get to this season. That's what's going to end.
The theory is that it's going to end with the fabled Dance of Dragons. And, based on the story that Stannis Baratheon's daughter was reading about the great, Rhaenyra going to war with her brother Aegon, it's like, well, 2 and 2, they're right there.
Yes.
So.
What was it called? Her sanctity or her maidenness? No, her. Fuck, what was the word, man?
I don't remember.
It was like, basically, it's another word for virginity. And she defended her, and she told King Viserys, hey, I believe her. I don't think she did that. And little did they know, She fucking did it. She did it with 2 different guys. I was like,
you gotta figure like this isn't just gonna be the end all be all of it. This is gonna come back and bite Rhaenyra in the ass at some point down the line. And I'd imagine it might come back and bite her in the ass when she's an adult.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's my guess. Is like it's a planted seed for something down the line.
I think so, and I think for Alicent, she kind of put herself, out there to defend her, and I think that's going to be something that's going to come up later on down the line. That like, hey, you know what, I defended you and I stood up for you, and now you're trying to fuck me over somehow, some way. So, did the word start with P? No, I don't think it did.
It started with like an S or something like that. I don't know.
I can list everywhere in the dictionary. Good to see Will Poulter in House of the Dragon. Who was Will Poulter?
Will Poulter's the guy playing Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He was in We're the Millers with Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston and Emma Roberts. He was the adopted brother, the son or whatever. Yeah, kid grew up. Like he's got guns now. He jacked.
He
up
wasn't
for
in the
for Adam
show,
Warlock.
but there's been.
Yeah,
I saw the joke earlier, and it really it really ruined it. I was like, God damn it! Did you know that Will Poulter was actually he was originally being considered for the role of Finn in The Force Awakens?
He was also, I want to say, under consideration for the role of Pennywise the Clown, but had to back out for scheduling conflicts, and then they wound up with Bill Skarsgård.
Mm-hmm. We did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it's
kind of weird to think like if Finn was played by Will Poulter. I mean, that's an entirely different character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that's pretty much how House of the Dragons episode 4 ended. We know there's going to be a time jump coming up pretty soon. I think it's going to be after the next episode, I want to say.
That's the idea, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because like I've gotten so used to these actors, and now the girls are going to be replaced by new actresses, and it's going to be a little different, But I still think it's going to be fire though, because the whole show itself is fire.
I mean, so far it's excellently executed, great writing, great character development.
The special effects are amazing,
top notch. Like you see the budget in the same way you see the budget in Rings of Power.
Exactly. And what Rings of Power, I mean, goddamn, like that's another one too. So let's go ahead and end this segment here. Tune in. So guys, we'll be back next week for another breakdown of episode 5 of House of the Dragon. This episode 4, I fucking loved it. I was like on the edge of my seat, like holy shit. And at the end, the Grand Maester gives her that tea.
Yeah.
Basically saying like, you better fucking drink it just to be safe. And I'm looking at her like, better fucking drink that tea, bitch. And she does. She's like, all right, I'll just drink this. Fuck it. I mean, you have to at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I was with 2 other guys, so I guess I probably should do this. So, but we'll see how it plays out. So, guys, tune in next week for an episode of House of the Dragon, for episode breakdown for episode 5. But episode 4, check it out. House of the Dragon on HBO Max. And that concludes that roundup for that episode.
Plan BT.
It's so
That's
fire.
Hilarious.
It's so fire that like it's just so hot. Okay, so I can't show this because I'll get taken down, but let's talk about Black Adam trailer, because I didn't get it. What?
That poster's got some Batman Forever energy.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does. And they go up at the same angle and shit, I like the one that Chris Wong Swenson did, where he put Superman right there. I was like, damn, where's that movie at? That's what I want to see. But let's see. Plan BT. I haven't seen House of the Dragon, so I wouldn't know.
I'm sure you'd probably like it more with wine, Ryan. I don't know.
He actually watched the first one. He said, I got bored. I was like, oh, you're fucking dumb. Anyway, so let's talk about Black Adam, the trailer, because I didn't get a chance to go on Monday, so and I wasn't at the 4 Nerds either on Thursday, so And then Phil looks like he stepped away for a second, but
No, I'm still here.
okay, good. I thought this trailer was leaps and bounds better than the trailer that we got than the previous trailers. I thought this trailer was badass. But there's some questions that I have about it because I'm trying to figure out like where some of these scenes kind of like connect. You know, you saw this scene with Amanda Waller, and that was a whole nother fucking shit show of a debate on Twitter. Everyone's saying like, "Oh, it's a reshoots. No, it's not reshoots. Yes, that's part of reshoots. I called it." It's kind of like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I just want to watch a fucking movie. And that's the thing too, is that like, look, if you're gonna drop news and say, "Hey, I called that," that's awesome, dude. But when you got everyone and their fucking mother, or who I should say, a big group of people saying the same thing, it's so annoying to the point where I don't even give a shit. I just want to see a good fucking movie. Now, I think that if that is true, then I think that definitely Amanda Waller was brought in as more connective tissue to the rest of the DCEU, because we know that she's a big part of, Suicide Squad. She's obviously a big part of Peacemaker, and now we see her in this as well. And some would say that, she's going to be the Nick Fury of this world. I don't think that's the case. I think that, we're seeing her because the JSA is affiliated with the government. You know what I mean? So that's why you're seeing her. She's the liaison from the government and the JSA. But what was kind of interesting too, and I kind of agree with what Caleb was saying here. He goes, I'm confused when the movie takes place. Do we know what year it takes place? We don't. I based on the trailer, I'm pretty sure it takes place during current day. And I think that originally they had it that way because it didn't matter, because they were going to reset the timeline anyway. So they were like, yeah, you can make it now, or you can make it a period piece. It doesn't matter. And so that's kind of what they did. Now, here's some of the questions I have about the trailer. Now, the trailer itself I loved. I thought it was great. Special effects, the pacing of it, everything. I thought it was like really, really good. I was like, man, they really did a good job with this, creating excitement. You saw fully finished special effects in this trailer. The special effects looked polished and clean. I mean, Dr. Fate's like that sword that he made out of midair and it came down and hit Black Adam. I was like, dude, that looks fucking awesome. Or when he multiplies and they're holding him, I mean, that was just like, holy shit.
It was actually the shape of a Egyptian Ankh. Okay. I don't exactly know how it's pronounced, but yeah, it more often than not, whenever Dr. Fate makes like a magical piece appear out of nowhere, it's usually in the shape of an Egyptian Ankh. So that's what that was. It does look like a sword, though.
Yeah, and Venom says Man of Steel took place in 2013, modern day in those times as well. Yes, and I also agree with this. Sabak looked fucking bad ass. When I saw Sabak, I was like, dude, that's how you fucking do it.
Yeah, when me and the rest of the nerds, because you weren't there, we were talking a little bit before we went live, and then I saw that the trailer went live, and I was like, guys, the trailer's live on YouTube. And we were like, okay, we need to start now, right? But I was telling them before, I was like, look, if they really want to get some butts in seats, if they really want to generate some hype, you can't keep showing like Black Adam versus JSA. Like, we've seen that twice over now. We need something a little bit more different. I was like, if they really want to wow some people, then show off Sabak. I don't care how much of it, just show off Sabak in some shape or form. And sure enough, they delivered on that. And they showed Sabak in 2 frames, him rising up out of the sand, and then him versus Hawkman when Hawkman's mace turns into an axe, because nth metal.
Fucking badass. I was like, dude,
badass, right?
Sick. So I did pose a question in the chat. Are you more interested in Black Adam after the new trailer? So go ahead and vote yes or no on that. Guys, make sure you smash the like button and share this link on social media. Let everybody know that we're live. And right now we're talking about Black Adam. Now, this article here from One Take News says that Black Adam has been rated at PG-13 for sequences of strong violence. PG-13 is exactly where I thought it was going to be at. There's no way that they're going to go rated R because, they want to make more money. So PG-13 to me is not that big of a surprise. And I also heard that it's over 2 hours, like slightly over 2 hours long for the entire runtime.
I mean, that kind of seems to be the par for the course with a lot of these films based on superheroes. 2.5 hour runtime, PG-13 rating. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, and then right here, the mansion stuff look kind of X-Men. It really did. I was like, okay, so they're borrowing Xavier's school of of gifted students.
I kind of look at Black Adam, the movie that we've seen of the 3 trailers so far, right? And I'm just like, okay, I've seen that from another comic book movie. I've seen that from another comic book movie. Obviously, the Thanagarian ship rising up out from underneath the grass or whatever in front of the mansion. It's very much X-Men. A Black Adam flying in front of the jets and then kind of smashing one, and then even the explosion happening behind him, very much
Right.
Iron Man. And even the opening shot in the trailer with the dude in the water is like, okay, that's clearly from Man of Steel. So it
But that's
really
the
does.
thing too, though. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
No, you're fine.
I know you got people out there saying like, oh, well, we said it was going to have Man of Steel. It was going to have Man of Steel vibes. I think that when you compare the two characters, right? Well, okay, look at it this way. Two things about when it comes to Black Adam and some of the scenes that we saw. Okay, there's two things. One is I think that we've come to a point where superhero movies are so overly saturated that you're going to get those scenes that you've kind of already seen before, because there's only so many ways you can describe certain, scenes when it comes to these heroes, right? So I think the oversaturation has created that kind of overlap in some of these scenes, right? For the most part. But I think that when you compare Black Adam and Superman, okay, so when it comes to Superman, his father, Jor-El, sacrificed himself to save his son and to send him to a planet light years away, where he would be more powerful than any other being on that planet, right?
Right.
Now, on the flip side of things, when you have Black Adam, you have a guy who gained his power based on what he's saying,
Right.
after
By
the
losing
loss,
his family.
by
right.
losing his family, losing his son, probably losing his wife. So he's almost the opposite of what Jor-El. When you compare Jor-El and Black Adam, they are like polar opposites of what they were trying to do. So now you have these two guys. You have Black Adam, and hopefully you have Henry Cavill's Superman, both of which are a product of their father, he being the father, and then
Right.
Jor-El being, his deceased father. And now you have a guy, Black Adam, who has this power with nothing more than revenge and hate in him that's driving him, as time goes on. While Superman is the polar opposite product of that, who was brought to this planet. He grew, he was raised by parents. He was raised right. He was raised with responsibility, and he wants to do the right thing. He wants to save people. So I think it's interesting when you compare the two characters of Black Adam and Superman. Now,
Well, it's also noteworthy to shine a light on the fact that what happens to Black Adam and how he gets his powers happens thousands of years before even Superman's existence is even aware to society. But they still wind up on the same planet, or they're rather, their origins may be similar and different in certain aspects. But the fact of the matter is, when Black Adam got his powers and the world that he lived in at the time showed him absolutely no mercy. It showed him absolute, based on what we've been shown so far, he saw tragedy, he saw rage, he saw all these different things. And then he's waking up 5,000 years later, and now he's in a world that he has absolutely no understanding of, but he has all this unchecked power. And only thing he knows how to do is I bow to nobody. I'm not going to take any shit from anybody.
Mhm.
None of you are going to stop me. I kneel before nobody. Whereas Superman grew up his whole life well, what the fuck do I do with these powers? How do I use it to help people? And what happens when I help people? There are consequences to my actions. Black Adam's going to come to learn that he's not going to give much of a shit about the consequences of his actions. He only just sees rage-filled justice, whereas Superman sees justice with consequence.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
No, it definitely does. And so that's why I think, putting them against each other is so crucial for the DCEU in order to find success as they move forward. So, we still don't have confirmation that Cavill is going to be in Black Adam. I don't think we ever will until the movie comes out,
Right.
which is next month. I'm going to go see it opening day, of course, because I want to see what the fuck happens, because this is the next big stepping stone for the DCEU. I mean, this is big time. This is The Rock. You're putting in the JSA. Okay, so let's pretend to try to make sense of what the fuck is going on in this world. So where does the JSA exist? So you see in the trailer that they're almost forming the team as the movie goes on, because she says who's on the team, and it looks like Atom Smasher is the newest member of the team. It also looks like Dr. Fate and Hawkman are the elder statesmen of this group.
Yeah, that definitely tracks. I mean, it's also interesting to note that it seems like a lot of the technology and the base that they're going to be at least so far from what we've seen, is going to be primarily from Hawkman as opposed to Dr. Fate, because Dr. Fate predominantly in the comics has his own headquarters called the Tower of Fate. I wonder if that will make an appearance in this movie, but based on what we've seen so far, I don't know. But it does feel like that this version of Carter Hall, played by Aldous Hodge, take care, Caleb. It feels like this version of Aldous Carter Hall is going to be, pretty well off in his endeavors of archaeology, if that's the route they're going down. I'm curious to see if the whole reincarnation aspect comes into play. Will his ancestor, will his previous life be present when Black Adam gets his powers?
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. I mean, he could have been alive then too. But I guess it's sort of at a point where, at the end of, was it Peacemaker? Or was it the end of Suicide Squad? Wasn't Amanda Waller in some deep shit?
At the end of Peacemaker, her whole Suicide Squad bit gets blown out to the world because of her daughter. So that's kind of up in high hell. It's also fun to note that when Amanda Waller's on the screen, there is a nod to Justice League in the corner right underneath.
There is.
Her face.
It says Justice League, and then there's another word below it. It starts with an S. I feel like that says Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it might. I don't know. I'd have to take a better look at it. We played the trailer on Foreign Earths. We didn't get taken down.
Really?
From the official YouTube page from Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Well, let me go there real quick.
No, it was from the Black Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yeah. I got my words crossed there. I meant to say The Rock, and I was thinking Black Adam. But yeah.
Okay. Let's
from The Rock's YouTube page.
The Rock has his own YouTube page?
Mm-hmm.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
Right.
Let's see.
Right.
Yeah, there it is. The Rock's page. I'll be damned. Okay, so let's take a look at this trailer. Let me let this commercial pass real quick, and then we'll move on to our next topic. All right, here it is. And it's funny because, I mean, right off the bat, it's like the Man of Steel vibe is like right there. You're like, oh, I've seen that before. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth saying like, oh, it was a blueprint, they stole it. I don't know about that, but all right, let me pause this and let's watch the trailer to, I'll mute that, full blast, to Black Adam.
What studio doesn't look at some of their past work to influence their further work, but also looking at stuff that doesn't work and not going down that route? You know what
exactly. I mean? Oh. Yeah, there we go.
Chevrolet.
That was badass though. I mean, that was a really good trailer. I love the tone. I love the intensity of it, the seriousness of it. That was great. I mean, it didn't have any jokes. It didn't have any puns or, or kind of corniness. It was just straight up it was just a more serious tone, which I liked.
I feel like this was the story trailer.
Yes.
I really hope this was the last trailer, because I don't think we need to see anything else before.
No, this is it.
Next month.
And so one of the questions I had was, let me see if I can find the scene real quick. Was oh fuck, I gotta let this thing play out because it's on a commercial, and so like I can't rewind it until it's done playing the commercial. But the where is it? Right there, I want to say. I'll do it there. So this is the part that kind of has me kind of wondering what's going on. So in this scene here, he says, if you got, what is it? If you have a cage to hold him or a chamber to hold him, we can get him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out where this scene takes place. Does it take place after the JSA, or does this take place before? Because, like in this case, it's actually filling up with liquid.
Right. That's a good question. What if it's the ending? No, it can't be the ending. It
can't be the ending, though, because, I mean, it's like, oh, so that was the end? Oh, shit, they already showed that. I almost feel like, okay, two things with this is that I feel like this shot could be actually being played in reverse. See how it looks like it's filling up? In reality, it could be draining. And so, like, they may have found him and had him, locked up and be like, hey, you know what? We need to unleash this guy. But based on the way the JSA are talking, it sounds as if they end up capturing him.
That's my kind of my thought. Like, what if they are successful in catching him by like the second act, and then by the beginning of the third act is when Sabak comes in, and they're like, "Shit, we've got to let Black Adam come out."
That's what I think. But he's wearing his original garb. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like he's not wearing the suit. So, and he's smaller too. I mean, like he's in better shape than I am, but he's smaller. So maybe they got him to say Shazam and to, take away his power. I'm not sure, because this kind of looks like what he was wearing earlier in the trailer when he was still a slave. Let me see if I can find it. He's like, oh, I lost my family. Did I already pass it? I must have. Let me see, where is it? It's back here. Yeah. I guess that was it. Is that him, or that's him? I think
that's him.
Yeah. And that kind of looks like what he was wearing in that other shot.
Yeah.
So I think that when he goes back to being his regular self, his Teth Adam, that he goes back to looking like this.
I think that's a strong possibility. Yeah.
Well, because in the comics, when he says Shazam, he literally turns into an old man and dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
I think in this case, they're like, hey, we want to try to avoid that. So when you say Shazam, you go back to being this, like who you were when you had the power, as opposed to, because I don't know. But then it's like, well, Billy Batson's still getting older. So how does that make any sense? But anyway,
I think the big difference is like, Billy Batson's still a young kid and he was born 15 years ago. Black Adam was born 5,000 years ago, and he got woken up from some other various means, and it would just be more imperative for him to stay in his Black Adam form. That way he doesn't have to worry about, transforming back and potentially suffering from something or other, old age.
Yeah, because I mean, these little shoulder pieces are part of what he's wearing in that chamber, but this is his regular. That's a regular thing, and he's kind of wearing something like that here. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. There's all kinds of arrows and shit. Like, what the fuck? But this shot was bad too. I like this shot. But so yeah, I think that they're able to capture him and apprehend him, and then they're able to put him in that chamber. And like you're saying, Sabak shows up. It wouldn't make any sense for them to be fighting Black Adam, then all of a sudden Sabak shows up, kind of like, oh fuck, what? They kind of pull a doomsday move on them, like, oh, there's a bigger bad. I think that they go back, and it could be that Hawkman stays and fights Sabak and then ends up dying. Who knows?
It's a possibility.
And then that's when Black Adam comes back, because they haven't shown Black Adam up against Sabak in any of the trailers. All you've seen is just him taking on the Inner Gang and taking on the JSA.
Right.
Now, the other thing too is that in the trailer he says we're the Justice Society. He doesn't say Justice Society of America.
Right.
And so I thought that was kind of weird, but I mean, like, maybe for international purposes, they're like, let's just call it, he'll just say the Justice Society and then leave it at that.
That's exactly what I think it is. Like, because if you just put Justice Society of America, that's a little questionable, I suppose.
Some people could be like, what the fuck? But I feel like this is yet another task force that's been put together. But I think that instead of using villains like she has with the Suicide Squad, they're using like regular heroes. But it looks like she's in charge because they're reporting to her. They're reporting to Amanda Waller, which I'm really happy to see her in this movie. I was like, oh, thank God.
If there's any connective tissue, right, between the DC films since the beginning of it, really with BVS and Suicide Squad, if there's been through lines through it all, it's obviously been like Amanda Waller and Ben Affleck's Batman to some extent, right? And even as we go into the Flash, it's even going to be more so with Ben Affleck's Batman. Then that's even more.
Yeah.
Prominent. That was what I was looking for.
Prominent, exactly. And that's the thing is that, you know, I'm happy to see Amanda Waller being that connective tissue within this world, because she's been in so many other movies so far. She's been in Suicide Squad. She's been in The Suicide Squad. She's been in Peacemaker. She's not going to be in Black Adam. She wasn't in BBS, I don't believe. No. And she wasn't in Zack Snyder Justice League, which I thought would have been kind of cool, but I don't know how they would have worked that in. But she was in... Oh, no, that was the end credit scene for Suicide Squad. That connected to Justice League.
Right.
Which apparently was supposed to be like a darker tone in that scene as opposed to what we got. But my friends and I will do it for you. To me, that never fit. I was like, that seems like a Jeff Johns move right there. Like, hey,
yeah, because like when you think about the structure and the way things flowed, by the time Suicide Squad ends and before Justice League begins, Bruce doesn't know these people.
No, he doesn't.
The only one he knows is Diana.
And so it kind of feels like they said, hey, we want a lighter tone. Okay, well, I'll just say my friends and I, kind of alluding to like, super friends. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lighter tone, and I don't think it was necessary, because based on what the RT Aircut account was putting out there for the script, he was saying, a storm is coming, and I'm sure he says it much better than I just said it, but which I think would have been better. But
yeah, I mean, that lines up with what they were kind of really building towards, the imminent arrival of Steppenwolf, because obviously, just saying me and my friends will shut it down for you is like a big Jeff Johns ego inflation, but like saying a storm is coming is very much more in line with what actually was going to happen in Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad and what transcribed in the Snyder cut. So
no, yeah, and then even I don't know if Steppenwolf was ever going to make an appearance in Suicide Squad, but definitely Diablo references, hints at his arrival. He even says it in the storyboard scene where he says, she's opening a door or something like that, or like she's bringing something through, something that even God doesn't want here, or doesn't want to be here, or something. And just that subtle reference alone is enough to let you know, like, oh, something else is happening in the background that we don't know about. I think it would have been amazing if they actually do put out the Ayer cut and you got to see like Steppenwolf like come through and then immediately like take off, because it makes sense in the sense that like he would have already been on Earth when the mother box wakes up and then boom tubes him to Themyscira to get that box. You know what I mean? That he was already on Earth. To me, that makes a lot more sense than having him boom tube from like fucking light years away. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's sort of what ended up happening, was that he boom tube from another planet, who knows who the fuck he was at, and he landed there. But see, here's where it starts to get a little like, hey, how did that happen? Because in Zack Snyder Justice League, when he arrives in Themyscira, he arrives and he talks to Defenders, and does this whole spiel, which is fucking badass. And then, what was it? Did the Parademons come first or did they come second? Because it was the opposite in the theatrical cut.
Parademons, I think, still popped out, and then he did.
Yeah, Parademons popped out, and then he did. And then in Justice League, it was him by himself. And then he hits his staff, and then they all come down. So they reversed it. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, because typically you send in your troops, then you show up. You know what I mean? And so to me, it would make sense that he would arrive with the Parademons ready to go, because he was already on Earth. And he was already on Earth kidnapping people and turning them into parademons. They were going out kidnapping people and turning them into parademons, because he was building his army. So to me, that makes way more sense how he had an army of parademons already there, because like later on, we see him building the stronghold. He's got a bunch of fucking parademons flying around. I'm like, where the hell did they come from? They all come from that one boom tube? I don't get it, but still a badass movie. Should give Ayer $100 million to add anything. That would be awesome. I wish they would. Hashtag release the Ayer cut, of course. Me and my boys will get you. But that's what Ben Affleck meant, I guess. But overall, though, I mean, lot of questions about where the JSA, like how they fit into the overall universe. I don't think they're really going to explain that. I just kind of feel like when the movie starts, they're just going to be there. And
I feel like, since if you just kind of follow the continuity of it all, Amanda Waller has detailed files on Aquaman, The Flash. There's reason to believe that she probably has some kind of information on Dr. Fate and Hawkman, which is why she's able to communicate with Hawkman, presumably. So that's kind of where my mindset's at as far as the other two. Couldn't tell you. I think they're just the newbies that are brought in by Dr. Fate and Hawkman and into the current iteration of the Justice Society. Now, to me, the cool Easter egg that I wonder, and I'm not holding my breath for, but it would be cool to see like a Justice Society through the years. If you get a conversation between like Dr. Fate as he's talking to, Adam Smasher about, past versions or past generations. And then you get like maybe a Jay Garrick, or maybe you get like an Alan Scott, I don't know, or, Lady Liberty, or whoever the hell else.
Like, to me, that would be badass. But then again, how do you explain that in the overall universe? And you could just say, you know what? I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like continuity, schmontinuity, like they might not even fucking care. But they're just like, yeah, we don't care. We're just going to kind of go with this and move on. So definitely check out Black Adam, the trailer. I thought it was badass. I'm looking forward to this movie. I want to see where it goes. And God damn it, please, Warner Brothers, please give us, release the haircut, yes, but please just give us fucking Henry Cavill in this. Like, I want to see Henry Cavill Superman. That would be the biggest fucking, oh my God, going up against Black Adam. If they have the Waller scene where she, and it makes sense because here you have Waller talking to Dr. Fate and Hawkman saying, who's on your team, like basically recruiting them. And then once Black Adam probably beats the Bach and then he takes off and he's out on his own, now she has to hire somebody else to come in and take him out, which makes a lot of sense to me. So I hope we get Henry Cavill as Superman, because that would just be badass, man. I'm telling you. Okay, yeah. So another thing today that came out today was the Flash prequel comic. This was released today. I actually was able to see the whole comic because I found a video online. I was gonna play the video, but should I play it? It's like 6 minutes long of another YouTuber talking about it. But anyway,
probably just link it in the chat and people can watch it or read it at their own discretion.
The comic part was kind of cool. I mean, if you haven't seen the comic yet, I'm gonna kind of talk about it right now. Essentially, there's a bad guy and he's smuggling guns in Central City. He's moved his operations from Gotham to Central City to try to avoid Batman. The Flash shows up. He's wearing the Wilkinson suit, the one from Justice League, and he's stopping these bad guys. And then they then call to Girder, who's basically like another version of Colossus in a way.
Yeah,
where like he's all metal, and so the Flash tries to take him on and tries to hit him as fast. He does super fast, but rapid punching. And then he ends up like breaking all of his fingers, breaking his hands, and breaking like all the metal that was, on his armor. And he's like, holy shit. And he realizes like, okay, I'm not going to win this. I need to get out of here. And so he takes off and then he goes to Gotham City to meet up with Ben Affleck, or I should say with Batman, Bruce Wayne. And, he talks to him about it, and they have conversations about, a whole bunch of stuff. So then he ends up later on in the comic, he fights him again. He fights Girder again because Girder's going on a rampage now.
Right.
And then he's getting his ass kicked. His suit's all beat up. And then Batman shows up and he goes, here. He goes, your story is just beginning. And he gives him the ring, which is,
I've seen that panel.
Suit. Yeah. And so he gets the suit. He fights him, and then he wins, and that's how he gets his suit. And that's essentially the end of issue 1. Is he has the new suit now that he got from Batman. And so some people were like, well, that's kind of crazy. Well, Flash Film News dropped this today, which I wanted to share with you guys. And this is basically him asking questions. So this Adrian Polonis way back when asked, Hey, Zach, did you plan to make a new suit for Barry by the end of JL, or was that just a rumor? Zach replied saying, a new suit with Wayne Tech. Because when he goes to see Bruce Wayne after his hands get all jacked up and his suit gets jacked up, it shows that they're working on, I forgot the technology they use for the Flash's ring. But anyway, it's like that shrinking technology so the suit stays in the ring. And then down here, Landon O'Leary says, he responds to Landon O'Leary and he says, I wanted to give the Flash solo film director a chance to put his or her spin on it, so no more concept. So basically, he wanted to have who's ever doing the solo Flash film to have the freedom to make their own suit.
Yeah,
which makes sense. So having said that, and him saying, Wayne Tech, so basically, as Batman would have been the one that would have helped make a suit, Batman and Alfred. So I thought that was really cool that Muschietti actually stayed to that and said, yeah, I like that concept. I want to do that concept. And it's in the comic, which essentially is going to be, I believe, is going to be referenced in the movie as well.
You'd have to imagine that Zack Snyder's probably going to get an EP credit on the Flash in the same way he did on the Suicide Squad, right? Because these are characters that are in the universe that he did create, especially since Ezra Miller is the de facto Flash that was cast for BVS, and he is now the mainstay, the main star for the Flash film. So it would just kind of stand to reason that there would be some ideas that Muschietti looked at and went, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely do that. I will follow through with that. Right. I think for some people, it's going to be, depending on how you feel about strict continuity, seeing, Ron Livingston as Henry Allen's going to be kind of a departure for some people, because we're pretty accustomed to Billy Crudup, who was in both versions of the theatrical cut and the Snyder cut as well, and seeing that's going to be a little bit different for some, I'm sure. And that's one thing that kind of bumps me out about that movie, is that Dr. Manhattan isn't going to come back and be Flash Dad,
Billy Crudup. That really sucks, but I like Ron Livingston, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But then Robert Muschietti did post this on Instagram today, so let's go to that.
Good, yeah.
Because where is it at? That's some breaking news. So she posted this saying, getting closer. As they're getting closer to wrapping up all the special effects and editing on The Flash. Now, some would have you believe that they're doing massive reshoots on all 3 acts. But, I mean, if that were the case, why would she even post this then? If you're in the middle of massive reshoots, why would you be posting that you're almost done with the movie?
Because some people just like to put out bullshit for a quick buck. Though those people will remain nameless for the time being. But as far as just my 2 cents of the situation, whoever you wish to see this information from, who is spreading this giant rewrite, retooling, or whatever of this movie, which, again, if they're this close, and again, this is Barbara Muschietti, this is Andy Muschietti's sister, who's an executive producer on The Flash. She's not quite, actually, yeah, she's essentially in the same role that Debbie Snyder is to Zack Snyder. Like,
right,
they produce films together, in a very family environment, right? So the fact that she's coming out and saying, we're getting closer to the finish line, absolutely leads into the idea that there isn't much retooling, if any, that's going to happen. If there are going to be some tweaks, it's going to be within the next few. There's no way that this film gets any kind of heavy, massive reshoots a la Justice League 2017. There's just absolutely zero way.
No, and I don't think it needs to. I really don't want like a Franken movie happening here where it doesn't pan out. Now,
right.
At the same time, people are out there saying, "Whoa, hey, look, it worked for Rogue One. Rogue One had massive reshoots, and it was a success." Yes, that is true. Rogue One was a massive success. I like Rogue One a lot. But I think that when we're talking about The Flash and we're talking about changing the entire story, I think, if anything, they're going to alter the end of the movie, the very end of the movie, so that it has a different narrative that it's going to have going into the end of the movie. We know that Ben Affleck has filmed scenes for Aquaman: The Last Kingdom. I don't think that, I'll say this. There was a point in time where I thought that maybe they did that to give themselves options, to see how, if Keaton's role in the Flash, if it comes off as a hit and fans love it, then they go, okay, let's go with that. But to me, I feel like they've already reshot that scene because they know that Ben Affleck is going to be around as Batman moving forward. And I really believe that this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to say I have a source on this whatsoever, but in my opinion, I feel like Ben Affleck's Batman will become the Tony Stark of the DCEU. Not the Nick Fury, but the Tony Stark, where he's kind of, you know, the gel that holds everything together, you know?
I mean, I just kind of go back to that line that Muschietti mentioned right before they started filming. Like, everything that you see and everything that you have seen exists and will continue to exist. So the whole idea of him erasing the timeline, I mean, we as much as I don't like bringing it up, you know, Batgirl got canceled because it did not fit with what Warner Brothers Discovery, at least that's what we're told, right? It did not fit with the idea of what they want to do with DC films. And that obviously had an older version of Batman in the form of Michael Keaton in it. And, you know, Ben Affleck is, you know, he did some extra shooting for Aquaman 2, and he's going to be in this movie, and he's holding out hope that they will keep what they did with his version of Batman intact. And, you know, depending on what direction they decide to take DC films, because, you know, this is also a studio that is going to, you know, essentially not necessarily lose, but it's going to, you know, have a lot less input in regards to how these characters and how these films are made moving forward, because Zaslav wants a DC Studios. He wants DC Films to be its own separate entity, you know, opposite from Warner Brothers Pictures. Because obviously whatever Warner Brothers Pictures has done in the past has always just resulted in one move after the next, after every single film. After damn near every single movie that they have made, they have altered course in some way, shape, or form when it comes to the overall narrative of what this universe is intended to be. So
no, definitely.
So definitely, like, the fact that they're getting to make a Flash movie and they're getting to make the movie that they want to make, like, I'm all for it. I'm bummed out that Ray Fisher's not in it. That's been one of my sticking points since, you know, the movie went into production, since we found out Ray Fisher's no longer going to be a part of it. But now that Walter Hamada's gone, or rather he will be gone after Black Adam, you know, I'm kind of holding out hope that maybe something happens there with him. I don't know. That's just wishful thinking on my part. I can absolutely say that with certainty. But based on the way that things are looking, just purely from the outside perspective, speaking subjectively, you know, it does kind of feel like they want to keep certain things intact while they may not be able to or want to. I don't know definitively, you know, in regards to bringing back Zack Snyder and finishing off what he did and then maybe going through with a fresh start, or purely just keeping the characters that he had intact and moving in a bit of a different direction, but still maybe kind of getting into some similar end result. Like, you know, maybe there won't be, you know, a Lois Lane dying in the Batcave, but maybe, just maybe, they do, you know, make good on the promise from the Snyder cut, or even to some lesser extent the theatrical cut, and they do make good on the promise and have Darkseid show up in a future Justice League movie somewhere down the line. I don't know. Time will tell.
And that's the thing too, is that everyone's been talking about how, you know, Zack's going to come back. Zack's going to come back. I mean, it's never been announced that Zack's going to come back. Even though I would love for him to come back, I'd go ape shit if he's coming back. I'd be like, fuck yeah. But none of that's been confirmed. And when you got guys who are very close to Zack who talk, and here, you have guys who are very close to Zack who went and visited Zack at the Stone Quarry. Yep. And it's not just about them having a chance to visit Zack and shake his hand and talk to him. The thing that you have to understand is that these guys talk to Zack more often than you think. In fact, I know for a fact that most of them have, you know, Zoom chats with him more often than you would possibly imagine. And text messages and group chats. And, you know, I think that the perception that TPC, you know, talks to him every so often when they arrange these things, it's very foolish, because I know for a fact that they all talk to him way more often than you. They talk to him more often than you think.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why you see a lot of the TPC cats sharing a lot and talking a lot about Rebel Moon, because that's what Zack Snyder is focused on
as we speak. Like, he is in the dead middle of shooting that movie for Netflix. He has a contract first deal look with Netflix. He's going to work on an Army of the Dead sequel, more than likely after Rebel Moon, because what is it? Planet of the Dead, I think, is what the title of the second film's supposed to be, right? And you know, I would imagine, I wonder if he's gonna like kind of go back and forth between the two, like, you know, do Rebel Moon Part 1, then do Planet of the Dead, then go do Rebel Moon Part 2.
Well,
I don't really
know. He's already shooting Rebel Moon Part 2 right now, so I think he's gonna finish Rebel Moon and then spend all his time on the Dead, you know, universe, which I think is awesome. I mean, he's literally building worlds at Netflix, and I think that what bothers me is that when that other side hears a statement that you know, he's building worlds in Netflix, he has total freedom over at Netflix.
Yeah,
I feel like there's another side of the fandom that I don't want to say that. I mean, they're going to support whatever Zack does, but some of them sort of disregard what he's doing at Netflix. Kind of like, oh yes, yeah, that's cool, but this is more important.
Yep.
Because this makes me more money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This gets me more clout. This gets me more attention. And I feel like, look, dude, like that's cool if that's how you want to do it. But whatever Zack is doing at Netflix, maybe Rebel Moon or his Dead universe, I'm going to support him 120%. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be so badass to see Rebel Moon on Netflix. I mean, he's putting everything into this. I mean, everything he's posting is about Rebel Moon. And the sad thing is that these sites that are so pro Zack, that are like, oh, you know, Zack, they don't even cover his Rebel Moon stuff.
Nope.
They don't cover his tweets that he put, or his posts on Vero about Rebel Moon. They don't, because that's not what drives their clicks. The DC stuff is what drives the attention and the money and all that stuff, and the money. And so, and it's sad. It's really sad, because I mean, he's putting his heart, all of his effort into making Rebel Moon so amazing and so just out of this world, if you want to say. It's sad that like not every channel who's pro Zack, who stands by Zack, isn't covering everything that he does for Rebel Moon.
No, you know, some of these people, they just feel so inclined to just, you know, tell other people what they want to hear. Like, you know, oh, we've got it on good authority that he's spoken to Warner Brothers Discovery. And you've got people who've literally talked to him directly saying, no, that is not the case at all. Whoever says that is flat out fucking lying to you.
Exactly. And to say, oh, I know someone who's close to Zack. I know, motherfucker, I know who the fuck you're talking about. And you shouldn't be sharing dudes' text messages, because that's not cool.
Not at all, no.
Just to prove that, like, look, I know someone who knows Zack. Yeah, guess what? I know him too. So it's kind of like,
I know a couple people, so. Yeah,
no, but I mean, look, the other day, you know, said person was like, oh, you know, I know that's badass. You know, I know someone's close to Zack, and this is what they told me on a text message. It's like, dude, I know I fucking know that guy too. Motherfucker, I had the guy on my show before. And so it's kind of like, come on, man. You don't have to fucking...
You ain't got a lot to hang out.
You don't got a lot to kick it, dude. Just be yourself.
Exactly.
That's all I'm going to say.
Now, when I saw this, I just thought to myself, man, this movie's going to be fucking something else. Like, you know, I got back into playing Destiny 2. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's Bungie's, you know, what they probably wanted Halo to be. But this is just, you know, on a whole different kind of space operatic level. I've been listening to the Flightcast talk about a lot of Star Trek and Star Wars stuff. And matter of fact, after D23, you know, I'm just really pumped to see a lot of really cool sci-fi. But you already know, like, since Zack Snyder being the visionary that he is, like, even just seeing something like this, you're just like, what is that going to look like when all is said and done, you know?
Look at all the debris on the ground, too. Like, It's not like it's a friendly place to be at, you know? It's like, something went down there. Look at that. Looks fucked up, too. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm game. This all looks absolutely
This looks stellar. Like this might be the main ship they fly around in.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because they literally built the entire set. I mean, they built the whole ship, you know? But no, that's just fucking badass, dude. I like how that's green so they can get rid of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I know.
This looks pretty cool. Pretty killer.
This looks pretty fucking badass. And I like what Charles says here. Yep, a Snyder fan is a Snyder fan. Either you are or you aren't. You can't be sometimes Zack Snyder fan. Exactly. Like, you either support the motherfucker or you don't. And I support him 100%. And I know Phil does too. You know, we're working on Project Justice League. which is essentially his original pitch for the Justice League universe on how it was going to play out. And you know what? Like I said this before, but when he was on with Dave the Film Junkie, he said, you know, I need to clip the statement, but this was the inspiration for the idea, was that Zack said himself, he was like, yeah, he's like, you know, I put those out there, you know, for you guys to see, you know, it's up to you guys to do whatever you want to do with that. And so I was like, there it is. When I heard that, I was like, you know, he's right.
Right. And you know,
we should do something with it.
Craig and I actually just did an episode of the Eternal Night on those storyboards. Like we go through each individual storyboard, we kind of break it down and talk about, like, you know, how does this fit in? How does this work? What do you think? Et cetera, et cetera. We even mentioned Project Justice League because you're doing that, and it's going to be one giant supercut coming later this year.
Yes.
And you know, it really is just kind of like I love that he put it out there. It's like, look, this is what we had in mind. It's up to you guys.
At one point in time, this is what we had in mind. Yes, he has new storyboards. We all fucking know that. He said it multiple times. Zack has said that multiple streams. He said it on Dave's show. He said it on the League of Mayhem when the Nerd Queens were doing their show. He said it on Comic Book Debate. You know, so it's like, people keep saying, like, well, he's got new storyboards. Yeah, we know that. He has said it multiple times.
It's a no shit Sherlock moment.
The problem with, okay, so here's the thing that I think people need to understand. Do we want Zack to come back? Fuck yes, we want Zack to come back to DC. But he's making something brilliant over at Netflix that I'm going to support 100%. But
you know what he did come back to Warner Brothers for?
What?
Teen Titans Go.
He did, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But my point is that if they realign, okay, if the ending, I'm spitballing right now. If the ending of The Flash leads to a nightmare future where he finds out that the universe that he came from has now been taken over, his Earth has been taken over by Darkseid, and then basically the story picks up in the nightmare future of Zack's original story, then I think that Zack would be like, yeah, I'll come back and finish my story. That's awesome. I want to do that. But I don't think that they'll be like, hey, Zack, we'd love for you to come back. However, this is the story we want you to direct. I don't think he'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I think he'll be like, well, that's not really what I wanted to do with it. This is what I wanted to do with it. And then there may be a compromise, or they may just be like, hey, you know what? This is not going to work out because this is not even my original story. I don't even, who the fuck wrote this? You know, Jennifer Hodgson. Oh, okay.
Christina Hodgson.
Christina Hodgson. Sorry, that's the singer. Christina Hodgson. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that, hey, look, do I want him to come back? Fuck yeah, I want him to come back, dude. Are you kidding me? It's a ridiculous question. But is he going to come back if the story is not his original concept? I don't know. I don't know if he'd come back for that. So only time will tell. But in the meantime, he's still doing crazy shit like this. He has a fan contest, 9 days left in the fan contest for Rebel Moon art. And look at this one. Holy shit.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty rad.
That's fucking bad. Look at the blue there in the neck. So also up here as well. Like, holy fuck. That's an alien right there. That's crazy.
I actually just submitted mine a couple hours ago.
I know. You were showing
me.
I
showed you. Yeah, I showed you.
That's it right there. No, it's not.
I wish.
I know. So do I. Fuck.
That's pretty cool.
But so now we go back a little bit more, okay? So we talked about this post here, and that some people would say that, like, oh, well, they're still doing massive reshoots, right?
Yeah.
Based on everything that I've heard from like, it's so funny. I know the person that runs the Flash Film News account. I've known this person for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
They have the people that they're talking to over there are let's just say I do believe that the ending has been reshot, and I think that there was some reshoots that were done, but I don't think there's gonna be massive reshoots, because you got to remember, this universe that he's in is a pocket universe at this point. Right. No longer is it going to be the universe of the DCEU moving forward. It's not going to be. It's a pocket universe. So you could still have the story happen as long as you end up where you want to be at the end. So why would you have to reshoot all 3 acts? Now, you could argue that there's scenes being reshot to add more connective tissue to some of these acts, but I don't think massive is the word to use. Now, at the end of the day, I could be wrong, but based on this post right here that they're celebrating how they're getting closer to finishing, I don't think she would post this if they were still doing massive reshoots, but take it for what it is. That's just my opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the same people out there were trying to are also saying that, you know, okay. When it comes to the idea that Zack Snyder has been in contact with WB, with David Zaslav's team, to talk about his storyboards. Now, I know that Ben Everett's put out that fake scoop the other day, which he called a social experiment, which has now been twisted and prodded and completely turned into like, oh, that's just an excuse for putting out a bogus scoop.
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that separates Ben Everett's from the Scoop Troop, right? When has Ben ever gone out of his way to do something like this in the past? Never.
Never.
Hardly ever. You don't ever see Ben Everett's or any of the other Real Anarchy cats or the Real Life Talk guys be like, oh, we've got an exclusive. Oh, we got the tea. It's none of that bullshit with them. They don't do stuff like that.
Well, okay, look, now I will say that, I mean, like, there was the whole Ryan Reynolds talk that I never really bought that.
Fair point.
Okay,
Fair point.
but you know, everyone had like their own little spin on what was going on with Green Lantern. But he put out the fake article, right? And what happened? Another YouTuber immediately made a video, not to debunk it, but to claim that it was stolen because it was reported on already back in January. But he made up the scoop. He made it up because he was like, well, no. And so there were three things of evidence, right? One of them was the Teen Titans Go, saying that like there's no way that Zack went there, right? And didn't talk about his universe. And that WBD, David Zaslav, would have had to have been around because this never would have happened under the old regime, right? Never would have happened. The old regime would never have had him on there. They would never have had him on there, right? Never have had him a part of a production under their regime, under the old regime, right?
And see, here's where that story already begins to fall apart. Because when you make the claim that Warner Brothers Discovery met with Zack Snyder in 2021, well, already right there, that's bullshit. Because Warner Brothers Discovery did not exist until April of 2022.
Well, now look. Now I know that there may be like they're claiming that the people have been claiming that they even met with them at the beginning of 2022. Okay, so my point is this: the argument that the old regime would never have allowed Zack Snyder to be in a production even as small as Teen Titans Go, never. That would have had to have been under the regime of David Zaslav and Warner Bros. Discovery, right?
Right.
So Eric Pringle, who was the animation director for Teen Titans Go, was contacted by an individual by the name of Casey Walsh.
Why did you say that name?
And basically, he sort of asked him, you know, and I have to say his name because he literally asked the guy,
right,
when did you have Zack Snyder in studio to record? And he said June of 2021. Okay. June of 2021 was still under the old regime. The new regime didn't take over until May of this year, 2022. Now, people would say, oh, well, I mean, you're telling me that Zaslav didn't have any phone calls or, you know, didn't have any conversations with them. No. He wasn't even in power yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
even
so
if
much.
he wanted to, it wouldn't matter.
Now, some would say, well, how do you know that? How do you know that? You weren't there. Well, you weren't either. And you don't know how these things work. So it's one thing for me to say that he would not have the ability to make those decisions yet. And for somebody else to say, yeah, but no, he had influence. He did. Guess what? We're both talking from points of view that it's not going to matter. So So let's do this. I'll be David Zaslav, okay? So here, let's do this. I'll be David Zaslav. Let me change myself over to David, okay? And then I want you to be Teen Titans Go, okay?
Let me find a Teen Titans Go picture. Hey, you know what? No. Oh, forget it. I'll just be Teen Titans Go.
Okay. So here, just turn your camera on. It doesn't matter.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So you're Teen Titans Go, okay? So basically, hold on. Let's do this instead. Okay. There. You're Teen Titans Go now, okay? So this is how some would believe things were happening over at Warner Bros. Discovery, okay? So here we go. Now we're back in June of 2021, okay? Okay? Phone rings. Answer the phone.
Hello?
Hey,
hello, Mr. Zaslav.
Hey, yo, what up? Hey, is this Teen Titans?
This is creators, showrunners, Teen Titans. What can we do for you, Mr. Zaslav?
Hey, I heard that Zack Snyder was going to be around. He could possibly be in one of your productions. Is that true?
I mean, we based on our current bosses, we can either confirm or deny the validity of that.
Well, listen to me,
sir.
Hey, okay, listen to me, all right? Make sure Zack Snyder is in one of your episodes, because I'm going to restore the Snyderverse, and I want him to be a part of that. I know I'm not in power right now, and I know that this is highly illegal. But if you say anything, once I take if you don't put him in your show, when I take control, I'm going to fucking fire you. You understand me?
Well, I mean, we already kind of asked him anyway, and he was totally down for the idea to begin with. So
no.
That's great. Make sure that happens, okay? And make sure you told nobody that I talked to you, because if you do, when I take power, I'm gonna fucking fire you. You understand me?
Just do us a favor and don't cancel our show.
Never. I'm not in the business of canceling movies or shows. I'll see you next year.
Thank you, Mr. Zaslav.
But you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you're telling me he's like, hey, Mr. Zaslav has been talking to me, and he wants you to have Zack Snyder in one of your episodes. Could you please make that happen? Oh yeah, sure. So here we go. Oh, of course, the picture's all small, but so here we go. So here's that post right there, which you can barely read. It says, Teen Titans Go animation director Eric Pringle. And these are my words. This was the same tweet I put out on Twitter. And Jacob Torres, being the badass that he is, he posted this on Vero. He said, my words, Teen Titans Go animation director Eric Pringle confirms that Zack Snyder was in studio to record his lines on June of 2021 after he was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert which was on May 27th, when he said the infamous line, yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers. So he literally was on the Stephen Colbert show, did the whole bit, okay? The whole bit. And I thought I had the clip where he says, suck it, Warner Brothers. I did have it. Somehow I lost it. Did that. Oh, here's right here.
Yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
Did that whole bit,
Brothers.
right?
That's right.
On May 27th, did that whole bit. And then a few days later in June, he went back to the studio and recorded lines being himself for Teen Titans Go.
Which, just to put that in perspective, he literally, with his hands crossed like a boss, says, yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers, and then
yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
Walks right back into them and just like,
baller move.
I'm going to go record some lines for an animated show.
Baller move.
After I said, you guys suck it. Right? I mean, hey, he said himself, like, after the Snyder Cut debuted, radio silence from the heads at WB, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just like, we're seeing it in physical form. We're seeing it at the top of the charts again. We're seeing it get a digital release. And mind you, this is all post-merger. So clearly there's got to be some kind of, backed, not necessarily incentive, but there's some kind of like level of respect there on some creative level that, or maybe even Zaslav just sees the monetary potential here. I honestly don't know.
Well,
but
but my point being is that to say that the old regime would have never allowed Zack to do this. Well, he fucking did it on the old regime.
Yep.
And that's why I said, way to stick it to the old regime, Zack, because he fucking said, suck at Warner Brothers, that whole bit on the Stephen Colbert show, and then goes back to the studio and records his lines for Teen Titans Go.
Right.
Under the old regime. With Zaslav and his team had nothing to do with. So that's why, again, when you use this as an example of Zack had to have met with Zaslav because he did this. Well, this happened under the old regime.
You know, you got to figure like Zack's going to make an appearance in Teen Titans Go, and James Gunn is making an appearance in the Harley Quinn show. I'm curious to see just how much more of this we might see somewhere down the line.
And Zack liked this post.
Right.
So again, my words from my tweet, Jacob, being a badass that he is, reposted it, put the Teen Titans image on there, and Zack liked it. Essentially saying, yeah, that's what happened. Because it's a baller fucking move. But instead of reporting it as a baller move, like, dude, he fucking went there, did this, fucking told Warner Brothers to suck it, had Stephen Colbert say, suck it, Warner Brothers!
Suck it!
Suck it! And then went back to the studio, recorded his fucking lines, and said, peace out. See you later, bitches.
I'm going to go make Army of the Dead. Oh, no, I'm going to go make Rebel Moon now.
And Army of the Dead. Like, see you later.
Dead, right.
Well, he was already made at that point, but...
Yeah.
Because at this point, already, we knew that those shitheads were not going to continue on with the story.
Right.
And at this time, back when he did this, Hamada was like fucking running around with the whole Michael Keaton concept and all that, which they in turn have shot down. So let's just get that straight. Let's get this straight.
By the way, Walter Hamada, my guy. Actually, you're not really my guy, but just, for storytelling purposes here, don't let the door hit you don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, fool. The fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Walter. There you are.
Hello.
Smug SOB. Hey,
so
whatever happened to the Green Lantern? Whatever happened with that?
Who the fuck knows?
Right.
Maybe WB sucked it and wanted more Zack crack. I hope so.
Maybe. Yeah.
They were smart.
Yeah.
And see, the thing too was that, again, Zack liked this. He was like, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. That's true. Baller move. That's why I love Zack Snyder. I'm like, dude, that's a badass move. You fucking tell Warner to suck it, then show up the next day or a few days later, maybe in June, and you record your lines at the studio and then say, all right, I'm out. Peace. Because you fuckers don't know what you're missing. You have no idea what you're missing out on, But to say that Zack has had talks and communication with Zaslav based on the fact that he's going to be on Teen Titans Go is false.
Yes.
This had nothing to do with David Zaslav. This had nothing to do with Warner Bros. Discovery. This was done under the old regime. This was done under those old assholes that were there. This was done. So this being a form of saying, "Oh, look, it happened," is false. So I want to put that out there. And on top of that, we have a statement here from the Flash Film News. Now, this is something that I talked about earlier. I tweeted this out. There was a report, there was a report that was put out earlier saying that the Flash Film News gave out wrong information about Ezra Miller's recovery and where he was at. And so they wanted to issue this statement on my show saying we stand by our report. Out of respect for Ezra's privacy and wishes, we will not disclose any more information at this time. Flash Film News team. And that's it. That's it. Because they put out information about him going to rehab and all that. And then recently it was claimed that they were wrong. But so they're like, dude, we stand by our report. And so far, these guys, they haven't put out anything false whatsoever. And it's sad that people are trying to spin a narrative that these guys are trying to shill for the movie. Flash shill news. It's kind of like, what are you talking about? They're reporting news about the movie. And why does that bother individuals? If anything, you should be using this as a source for information to build narratives off of, not I'm going to build a narrative that, or I'm going to discredit these guys and build a narrative that this is a phony account. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
No, that's exactly it. Like people who are avidly regurgitating this, and I'm not saying Flash Film News is, but I mean just, you know, in terms of like the Scoop game, the Scoop Troop, Scooper Madness, whatever, you know, kind of nickname you want to give it to them. You know, these people do not give an absolute damn about the well-being of Ezra Miller and what they're going through and what they're going to do to recover and be in a better place, mentally speaking. No, they just want to capitalize on the, oh, see, I got the fucking story first. It's like, no, shut the fuck up, sit down, mind your own goddamn business for once, drink your fucking homemade tea and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And look, I'm telling you right now, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about me right now. I'm giving you my honest opinion. The Flash Film News, okay? I know the person that runs this account. It's a stand-up individual, very intelligent, and they're not out there trying to put out bullshit or spin narratives. It's not what this account is about. And so, look, you can follow whoever you want to follow on social media, on YouTube, whatever you want to do. That's fine. But I'm letting you know right now that this account is not an account that's searching for clout, that's searching for clicks, that's searching for, making clickbait stuff. That's not what they're about. It's not. You can take my word for it. The Scoopy Madness and Entertainment. Yeah. And the problem is that some of these scooping YouTube channels and websites, they're so quick to try and discredit everybody else because they want to make sure that their fans only come to them. As opposed to saying, hey, this is what we're hearing. I don't give a rat's ass what these guys are saying, because this is what I've heard. You know what I mean? But instead it's become no, don't go to them because that's bullshit. I have the goods right here. And I'm gonna make fun of them, but then claim I'm a victim later. You know, it's really sad. It's disgusting. We're talking about comic book movies right now.
Right.
We're talking about nerd shit that we love talking about. And I'm sorry, but like I don't want to have to deal with fake news and L's and W's. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man.
And it's like, you know, even on the other side of that coin, like you've got other people in this, you know, the scooper pooper bullshit. Like, I'm not going to name the name, but you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you're trying to just offset and have these minimalistic nitpicks about something and you immediately compare it to something else. Like if you're going to have the audacity to bitch about Aldous Hodge being Hawkman and calling him a Black Panther ripoff, I'm sorry. You have absolutely zero integrity and zero.
That was ridiculous. That was so over the top. It was like, what the fuck? It
was racist. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, saying he should have been Mr. Terrific was just like, what fucking brain? What's up, Alex? Like, what brain dead cell made it through to exit out of your mouth hole to relay such incompetent nonsense? And the fact that, you know, you're literally going to sit there, bitch and moan about Hawkman's helmet. Oh, it's just like Black Panther. No, the fuck it isn't. No, like
not.
There's fucking comic book proof that Hawkman's armor is nth metal and it does the thing. It's like, come the fuck on, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like calling him like rip off Black Panther. Get the fuck out of here with that racist bullshit.
Oh God, hold on. Let me change my audio avatar. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But talk a little more about that. And also too, Alex is a good point. Actually, I should say, you know, it's folks telling people what they want to hear.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's the part that gets where it gets sad. I have something else to add to that, but I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, take your time. I mean, you know, Alex, you do have a really great point. Like the fact that a lot of people in the Scoop game, it's literally not to try and, you know, pass off information in a positive manner. It's not trying to, you know, engage in active civil discussion. No, it's literally just people telling other people what they want to hear, and also being, you know, trying to be the ones at the front of the line, being like, see, I did it first, or see, I got the story, see, I was right. It's like, you know what? If you really feel like ruining so many things for so many people just for the sake of saying I was right,
my advice to you is go seek professional mental therapeutic help, because you clearly have some kind of superiority issue that you need to work out or work through. And frankly, bitching and whining and crying and arguing with people on the internet about it is not healthy at all. And even doubling down on bullshit is just as not healthy. It's just not a good look either. And, you know, when I saw that comparison from that certain scooper, it just, again, it did not sit well with me. It was really uncalled for. And it's really just a slap in the face to what Aldous Hodge is trying to do with Hawkman. Like, you know,
I wouldn't even call her a scooper. She's just a YouTuber at this point.
You know, she's something else. She is a bargain bin Harley Quinn.
Well, you know, I don't think that she should be looking to enrage, you know, Snyder fans to get more clicks. I know what she's trying to do, but I really wish she wouldn't do that.
Right.
But I also don't encourage getting you know, your supporters to kind of what's the word? I don't think getting your followers to fight, to bring them to arms, you know, getting them to fight back at people and talk shit. I just don't. That's not anything positive whatsoever. If you're gonna be in the scooping game, you got to be able to take shit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's going to happen regardless. Even if you're right 100% of the time and all of a sudden, boom, you get one wrong, people are going to call you out.
Yeah.
And I think that it says a lot about your character and how you carry yourself when you start to get that negative backlash for being wrong. And I think that shows. And a lot of these individuals, they act like fools when they get called out.
I mean, you know, you mentioned that, and an old story actually comes to mind. There was one scooper on the other side of the fence regarding Marvel that I actually had a discussion with, and and this was in the middle of the pandemic too. Like this is really interesting. Like he was doubling down on the idea that once Marvel set these dates for these movies, that they were going to stick. And I was like, Chief, we're in a fucking pandemic. They've changed dates for movies before. I promise you, these things are probably going to change. And he's like, oh no, Marvel always stick to their dates. And I'm like, okay, Chief, whatever you think. Fantastic Four is for sure going to come out in 2023 because you said so.
Exactly.
I stand corrected. That person no longer and I interact. He has me blocked. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe learn to take an L once in a while, Mr. Murphy. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I let that slip?
This one I thought was funny, though. This was yesterday.
Yeah.
List, right?
Yeah.
And he says, we all know the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game, right? Where you link a random actor to Kevin Bacon with other actors. That's what this shit has turned into with the Snyderverse. And when I read this headline, it said The Rock, Black Adam almost debuted in a Snyderverse sequel. I knew exactly where they were going with this because of Gavin O'Connor.
Yep.
And then not only that, but now you can say, I scooped this back on this day, or I reported this back on this day, on this channel or on this article. You know, here's a link. So it's just another way of kind of boosting yourself up. But at the same time, this part of it is true in the sense that Gavin O'Connor was originally the story was going to be that the Suicide Squad go on a mission and to find this weapon. It ends up being Black Adam. And that's how you introduce Black Adam into the world, which I still think is a really cool story. Like a good idea. Yeah. But this wasn't going to be a direct sequel following the Ayer cut. No, this was going to be a sequel to Studio Squad, which they then later scrapped because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And in this thread, I mean, people are just like going at Dave for no good fucking reason. Oh, yeah. And you're just like, what are you doing? Saying, oh, they've been right, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not even about that. He's talking about the clickbait title of the article. Absolutely, yeah. And everyone's like, no. It's like, oh, that's fine, whatever. It is what it is,
I just throw my hands up in the air sometimes when I see stuff like that. I'm just like, wow, that's a real easy way to just get clicks. Just put out just some absolute fucking nonsensical bullshit that doesn't even remotely matter in today's time.
It doesn't. And that's the sad part about all of it, is that at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, here's what I always kind of come back to. Now, like, I do this, Phil does this, Ryan does this. We all do this for fun. This is just an outlet for us, and it's just a lot of fun. Do we make money off of this? A little bit. I don't make that much.
I don't make any money. I do all my podcasts and stuff for free.
I don't make much at all. Obviously, I have members and I have Patreon, so thank you to those who support the channel. But I'm telling you right now, it ain't that much. And some months I get this, and that's fine because this is a hobby. This is something I do on the side for fun. Because I love talking to you guys and just reporting the news and just talking about this shit. But other people out there, they just want to make money off of it.
They treat it like a legitimate career when they don't have the right kind of, I don't even know what the right word is. Like they try and treat it like they're really engraved into this business as some professional, when really the only professional thing about them is the invisible clown makeup and the invisible clown shoes that they have on. That's really kind of what it boils down to. Like they don't do it for fun. They don't do it for, trying to be positive in any way, shape, or form. They're literally just doing it for the attention, for the, responses, and the fact that some of them have a giant following. How, I don't know, but maybe they've been doing the thing for far longer than we have, and that's why their following is a lot larger. I don't know.
Well, and the thing too is that, if there's a concept that we can run with, which is basically like, I can tell everybody what they want to hear. I can tell you that Zack's gonna come back. I can tell you that, the sources I've been talked to, all of them have been saying Zack's gonna come back, blah, 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 blah. And it would probably do me a whole lot of good because everyone would be like, yeah, I want to hear him what Nicotina says. He's always got good shit about the Snyderverse. But that's not, I can't live like that. I can't live with myself like that. No, others can. And you know what? If the other people are making money off of that, then, more power to you. Because there became a point in time where there's another YouTuber out there where at one point in time, this person could have folded up shop and just gone away and just gave up, but they didn't. And they kept striving. And now they're creating a fan base themselves. And so for that, I do commend them for sticking with it. But at some point you got to look at your integrity and say, hey, where do I draw the line on that? So, but that's all personal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Here's that image I was telling you about where, he jacks up his hands.
Oh yeah.
From punching Girder.
I didn't see what Girder looked like in the comics. So that's interesting. That's an interesting look.
Yeah. He's like, ah! And then, yeah. See, there he is. He's taking out the bad guys, and that guy shows up. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Andy Muschietti drew all these.
I don't think it was Muschietti. I think it was.
Oh, no. He did that one drawing of him, like, butt naked.
Right.
Trying to get into a suit. But no, this is another artist. Different style, too, which is interesting. So that's pretty much all I really want to say about the whole scooping game. I'm sure people will clip shit and do shit and talk shit and whatever. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. But that's just kind of my take on it. I did want to share this real quick. Let me see if I can get to some of the other ones that he's done. Hernan Cabrera, amazing artist. He did these character posters just recently. There's Superman in the black suit. Oh, shit. And there is Wonder Woman right there. Batman. Cyborg. This guy's an amazing artist. And he did these. And he's actually helping us do color one of the images for Project Justice League. So
there you go.
I'm really looking forward to checking him out and seeing what he's doing. And that's this guy right here. Hernan Cabrera. An amazing artist. Definitely check that out.
It looks like the artist for the Flash comic Fastest Man Alive, the first issue that came out, Stronger Than Steel, today, written by Kenny Porter, pencils, ink, and colorist, all done by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. And then the cover artists, Max Fuemera, Juan Ferreira, Jorge Corona, Sarah Stern, and of course the one you mentioned by Andy Muschietti, the director of the film.
Yeah. Let me also say this too. I mean, and not to go back on the old topic, but when it comes to the Snyderverse fandom, okay, there are some really good people out there, and there are some really good supporters out there, and some of them may support one side, some support the other, but at the end of the day, there are still really good people out there. And I know that there is a lot of bullshit that gets passed back and forth between different people, different YouTubers, and I know for some of these supporters out there, it gets tiring. It's like, fuck, dude, why do I always gotta read all this bullshit, back and forth bullshit? And so for that, I do apologize for you having to see all that shit. But like I said before, if you're gonna be in some kind of a scooping game, then you gotta be ready for backlash. That doesn't mean I gotta defend myself and call my friends to help me out. It just means you have to be able to handle yourself. And how you portray yourself, that's a big deal. Now, guys, before we wrap things up, oh god, here he is.
Yeah, I'm glad you called. Ryan is being a little bitch again.
What's up, Ryan?
Hello!
Oh!
What's up? Zack Snyder is no longer part of the Snyder Cut.
You guys cut him out.
We were the first ones to make a Snyder Cut. We cut out a Zack Snyder.
Walter, you're getting cut out as well, though.
I'm not getting cut out of Snyder, but I making money. He not making money like I'm making money. I'm sorry to anybody who's Asian. I love Asian people. It's just, I just want to make fun of fucking Hamada. I don't give a shit. Fuck Hamada. He's a piece of shit. I'm driving home fucking drunk, and everything is weird. Everything is like, it's in slow motion, but I feel like I'm in fast motion.
But you're not driving, right?
I am driving.
Oh no!
I've got to drive.
Oh no!
Why are you driving?
I gotta get home. I'm the only one that can do it. Gary Ashford. Where the fuck am I?
So essentially, you're calling me as you're breaking the law.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Everyone watching at home, please do not drink and drive.
This
do
has been
not
a public
drink
service
and drive.
announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? What have y'all been talking about? I'm just now getting into the car. I've got about a 30-minute drive ahead of me. Hopefully, I don't die.
Oh.
Hopefully, I don't die. You
I don't know what else
that you
to
want
say.
to be driving.
I have
earlier.
to drive. I'm the only one that is capable of driving. I must drive in order to get home.
So
So
all your
I
friends
started
are
off
listening to you
drinking-
right now.
Yes, I started off drinking six glasses of wine, and then I had some bourbon. So I'm good to go. Let's go. And what are we talking about?
Okay.
Are we talking about House of the Dragon?
No, we're done with that
No.
because you don't watch that show.
Yeah.
I
Grace
tried
Bennett
the
had a
first
bad shake
episode,
on the
I
Black
couldn't do
Adam trailer.
Okay.
Definitely drunk. Oh, he's drunk. I
So
hear
Black
car
Adam,
bleepers.
man, that shit looks fucking dope, dude. I think they stole a lot from Man of Steel, hoping that they could recapture lightning in a bottle.
I don't think he's actually driving. I think he's just bullshitting us. But anyway, at least I'm going to say so. Oh, this is a nice little bird. I know your wife's with you, so
She's at home. She's asleep. I just text her and let her know where I am and what I'm doing. So
okay. So we were talking about. God damn it, dude. So we were talking about a lot of different things. Obviously, yes, we talked about House of the Dragon, but we talked about this post earlier from Barbara Muschietti saying, you know,
why were they dancing? That was weird. It was like, what the
they were
fuck?
celebrating because they're almost at the end.
Okay. Well, when's the end? When is this bitch coming out? Let's go.
All right.
Does anybody know the release date? Let's go, baby.
June 23rd, man.
June.
2023.
Oh, fuck. They're dancing for June? That's almost a year. The fuck?
It's hey, we got Max in the chat saying Big Papa. Yeah, that's a Big Papa beat. You know this.
What's up, Max? I love Max. Max is good people. Max is good people.
Max is a good guy.
Everybody
I
tune
like
in to
Max.
fucking Mad Max Entertainment. That's just fucking dope.
It's Movie Madness Entertainment.
Oh, movie. Okay, Movie Madness Entertainment.
Oh no, wait, no.
I'm sorry.
I would, but Max doesn't make me feel very welcome whenever I show up. So.
Oh.
Oh.
You know what? I'm sorry. Max is a real nice guy. I don't care what anybody else says, dude. He's good people. He just he lets a lot of people fucking overtake his show, which is. Tune in to Max. He's a really nice guy. He himself. Oh fuck! Yellow light. Hold up.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. I just needed to make a stop. So yeah, the good shit. Let's go. Okay. So fucking June. You're telling me fucking June? And
Yes.
they're dancing now?
Yes.
That's weird.
No.
That's weird. That's a long time. That's a long time. I want to see it now.
Well, I'm glad to
Release.
hear that, Max. Thank
Well,
you.
okay. What do you think about what was your take on the Black Adam trailer that just came out?
Dude, you know what? Okay, so the past
there you
two
go.
Black Adams trailers have been dope. The one before it was stupid as shit.
Yeah,
With him casting the fucking rocket. That was dumb. But this last one actually gave me hope that this might actually be a good movie.
But
It might
trailers
not
can
fucking-
be deceiving.
The trailers can be deceiving. I mean, of course, it's going to have the stupid fucking comical humor and who gives a shit. But hopefully it won't suck dick. And you can quote me on that. Let's go.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap things up now because we're.
Oh,
we're
you're
at
wrapping up? Oh, fuck you.
Already
I just
2
got here,
hours
bitch.
We're 2 hours, man.
2 hours in.
All right, I
Come
get it.
on,
I
buddy.
understand.
You went and drink by
Dude.
yourself.
I didn't know we were going to a bar afterwards, so I'm good to go. Let's go. Fucking DCUO. In NYCC, or is this a Comic-Con? That shit. No, you will not see fucking Henry Cavill. He will not be there.
Will not be there.
Well, what else? What
There
else? What can we debunk? What kind of bullshit can we debunk?
Well, we already talked about that. We talked
Oh,
about that a
okay.
little bit.
Okay,
But
gotcha,
I mean, look, nothing's gonna happen at New York Comic Con. It never has. It's never been a platform.
New
for
York
movies.
Comic Con is nothing. San Diego Comic Con, that's the only place where shit happens. Nothing fucking happened for DC, so therefore nothing's gonna happen this year. Fandom is a fucking construct of Walter Hamada. That motherfucker's out the door, so therefore Fandom walks out with him. There will be no Fandom 2023. You can quote me on that, bitch.
Bitch, please.
Bitch, please.
Please.
Which is a good segment. I don't know who does that. Who does that?
That would be Mr.
Ben Everett's.
That's right.
Bitch, please. Yeah, Fandom is done. That is not a Warner Brothers Discovery thing. And so yeah, you can fucking quote me on that shit.
You all heard it here first, folks.
There it is.
I scooped it.
He scooped it last year.
It's done. It's over with. It's Fandom. What the fuck is that? That's really nothing. It was only something because of fucking COVID. COVID's done. I mean, people still have COVID, but who gives a shit? It's just a fucking flu. Who gives a crap? Nobody's dying from this shit.
It's
from
not just a fucking
elderly
flu,
people.
dude. I had a sore throat for a week. You better take that shit back.
Bitch, I had
had
fucking COVID. Dude, I had fucking COVID twice. Fuck COVID.
Well, that fucking sucks, doesn't it?
It did, but it was a minor inconvenience. I don't care. It's nothing now. I'm good to go.
He's
Let's
good to go.
He's
I'm good to go. I'm good to go. So, I guess that's it. I don't know what else. I mean, Rings of Power is dope. I like that. I think that was fucking awesome. I watched Cobra Kai, bitch. I fucking binged that bitch. It was, it has some good parts. The best part of Cobra Kai this season has been Johnny Lawrence, and that's it. Everything else is not that great.
What the fuck
But
are you
Johnny
talking
Lawrence,
about? What?
fucking Cobra
No,
Kai.
no, bro. Chosen stole the season. You're out of your fucking gourd
Dude.
right now.
Dude, no way. I mean, Chosen was fun, Yeah, he got cut at the end, but
Whoa!
no, Johnny Lawrence was funny. Johnny Lawrence was, dude. I'm sorry, Johnny Lawrence Uber. Johnny Lawrence was fucking dope, bro. You can't get past. Johnny Lawrence was the heart of the show.
Do me a favor.
That was the heart of the show right
you need
there.
To do me a favor. You need to call your own Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah. Dude, Johnny
you need to
Lawrence
call your own
is,
Johnny Lawrence.
oh
Uber.
my god, dude. The fucking shit that he made, fucking what's his name?
Don't
Miguel?
spoil the show.
Dude, okay. Cobra Kai is not the greatest season. I think last season was better, but this season is pretty good. I thought that Silver was good until the end. At the end, he was kind of a bitch. But yeah, no, it's a decent season. It kept me interested. I watched it all the way through. Johnny Lawrence is the GOAT, bro. Johnny Lawrence made that shit for me.
Okay, so what about this? Some breaking news. I wasn't going to talk about it, but might as well since Ryan's here. Small Screen has reported that Justice League 2 is reportedly in development at WB Discovery with the Flash director Andy Muschietti in mind to direct. Now, look, I think when you look at this report, you know, in face value,
he's going to direct Project Justice League 2.
Oh God, no! I think what he's gonna. I mean, look, I think that if the Flash is a major success, then yeah, I think that he's going to be a major player as being a director for that film.
I think it's fake news. I think that's just fake news. But he did direct an ensemble cast, and Justice League would be an ensemble movie.
Look at Max. Wow, drunk Ryan with Cobra Kai spoilers. See you later.
Look,
thanks for being a member, Max.
I'm right there with Andre. Like, I'm actually right there with both my chuns here. Number one, I think this is bullshit. But number two, I do think that once The Flash comes out, if there were to be someone, if Warner Brothers even wants to entertain the idea of doing another Justice League movie, and they want someone immediately, I think the one contender of the three potential contenders that they could pull between David Sandberg, James Wan, and Andy Muschietti would likely be a contender.
There it is, Ryan.
There you go.
You know what? Hey, I have to agree with Phil. I think he is a contender. I think Zack Snyder is a no-go because just simply for the fact that they haven't sat down with the guy and said, "Hey, bro," and I think that's all because of ego. I think it's to show, hey, we can't let the Justice League has to be bigger than Mr. Snyder. So, he's a good director, but it's a bigger IP than this guy. So that's what's up. Muschietti all the way.
Muschietti.
The problem is that
Well, actually, he's Argentinian, so it would have to be Argentinian accent.
Muschietti.
No, that's not quite it, Chief.
You know what's funny is, like, look, so they put this out, right? And
who did?
It was the small screen.
Small screen.
And look at
small screen.
This guy right here.
He's a viable source. Anybody else that's like pretending to be attached to him, that's bullshit. Well, look, fucking dude, I'm fucking drunk, so all you're getting is the fucking truth. You're getting the fucking truth from me. I can't fucking lie. Oh no, you know what? David can take a seat. David can take a seat. I'm all about truth right now. Ask me anything, I'll fucking tell you the truth, man. I'm gonna fucking hold back.
Okay, let me ask you this: is Zack Snyder gonna come back?
I would love it, but he is not in a position. Oh shit, I'm going too fast. He is not in a position. There's a red light. He's not in a position where he will come back. He would love to come back, but only under certain circumstances or conditions. And I don't believe that David Zaslav has reached out to him because, I mean, simply for the fact that, I mean, there's a new regime, there's a new company, and I don't think that they're going to say, hey, you know what? We can't sell anything. We're not good unless we have Zack Snyder on our in our roster. in our hands.
They can cup him.
And
Uh,
yeah, I mean, you know,
Kinky
I
Sphincter,
think a
Ryan.
little bit of yo, Kinky. What's up, Kinky?
He says, Ryan, spank me. You know, he lives near where you live. I mean, you can.
He
make
does
that
live
happen.
near. He does live near, but it's at arm lengths, and I will keep him at arm lengths.
The last guy I saw who was drunk on the stream started dropping F-bombs on people.
I fuck Dave, the film junkie. Fuck Dave. No, Dave is a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I'm just joking. I like Dave. I like Dave Pena. Dave Pena's good people. I'm just fucking joking. Dave's a good guy.
Who don't you like? I'm curious. Who do you not like?
Do I not like?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Here we go.
Oh my god. So they're okay. So I don't like fucking Grace Randolph. That bitch is fucking. She plays both sides every fucking chance she gets. I don't like fucking Mikey Sutton. That motherfucker is just a lion sack of shit. Who do I don't like?
Here we go. Ryan speaks the truth.
Oh shit. I mean, name some people. I'll tell you if I like them or if I don't. I'll be fucking honest. I don't give a shit. I don't. Okay. I understand Mac Jarbo, but I think he's full of shit. I think he plays the shit just to fucking get his numbers up. I think he was fucking playing Max and everybody else just to get some people on his stream, and I think he's using RJ for a younger audience. I'm being honest.
You being honest?
I don't give a shit.
What is this? Yo, Ryan is on a sick one.
He's on the truth juice. He's on the truth juice.
Okay, let's talk about how do you feel about. I don't know if I want to push these buttons right now, man. I don't know.
Dude,
Do it.
I don't
Do
give a
it.
shit.
Do it.
Name
Do
somebody. Name somebody. I don't
Okay,
give a shit. I'll let it out.
How do you feel about Brian Master Nunn?
I think he's a nice guy that has got a lot of internal issues that he really needs to work on. I think he has a big heart, but I think he gets too emotional, and I think he lets his emotion get the best of him. Dude, if I ever saw the guy, I'd give him a big fucking hug because I think he needs it.
I love Brian, but yes, you know he's got some stuff he's working on as well. Let's go for the gut shot. What do you think about Sil Abdul Inc.?
Look, I think Sil Abdul, I liked him more when I first met him. I think that he has found a niche that is not going to take him to where he wants to be. I think that Sil Abdul is creating a false narrative of people. And I think that he is he's creating a paradigm of people that or for people that want something so hard, which is the Snyderverse. They want something so bad that they'll listen to anybody and anything that's speaking positive about it. And I think he understands that, and I think that unfortunately he's capitalizing on it. I think he's a good guy deep down inside, but I think that he is profiting on other people's desire to hear something positive about the Snyderverse. And I don't think the Snyderverse is a real thing until they finally sit down and talk to Zack, which they haven't done yet. And a lot of close people to him have reiterated that spoke with him this year, that have reiterated that he has not spoken with them yet. And if they haven't done
quite
so,
frequently,
they talk to him frequently. I agree. And if that's a thing, then I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. And I don't think it's wise for him to double down on a paradigm that believes or a situation that believes that that's a real reality. It's not. It would be awesome if it was, man. I love the Zack Snyder universe. But if it's not going to happen, don't pretend like it is. And set people up for disappointment. Because the last time they did that, they were like, fuck you, David Zaslav, fuck you this, fuck you that, when they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. And I don't think it's right to play on people's emotions like that. And that's just my opinion. And yes, I am drunk.
Okay, I got one. How do you feel about John Campea?
John Campea treats fucking Robert Meyer Burnett like shit. I love Robert Meyer Burnett. He's a great heart. He's a beautiful person. I've met him. I've talked to him. He's a great person. And John Campea is a fucking leech.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that I mean, there are things that I agree with John Campea, and there are things that I don't. But I believe at the end of the day that he really doesn't give a shit. I think that he's a narcissist. I think he's very close to what Matt Jarbo is, which is a fucking narcissist. They only like to hear what they have to fucking say.
What
like,
do you?
And I'm not. I'm not a narcissist. I don't give a fuck about what I have to say.
What do you? What do you think about Rebel Moon?
I think that it is hopefully going to be a really cool feature, but I think it takes a lot of from the Star Wars universe. Like even the new tank or whatever the hell that thing. It looks like the droid tanks, and so you can really tell that this thing was heavily influenced, or Zack was heavily influenced by the prequel trilogy. I think that talking gritty, which the prequel trilogy was not. But I think that the visuals, I think, are very in tune with the prequel trilogy of Star Wars was. And I think that what he did was he adapted his Star Wars treatment, made it his own, and I'm interested in seeing it because I'm a fan of Zack's visions.
All right. Well, there you have it. Guys, that's going to do it for the show. We need Ryan to get home safely, and we are getting ready to go to bed. Let's go around the horn real quick. Phil, where can they find you?
Well, y'all can find me on Twitter, Vero, and Instagram at Unfiltered, but don't expect me to say anything on Twitter for the next 3-ish days because I'm on Twitter timeout. But you can still shoot me a message. I'll probably respond. You can listen to my shows, Superhero Stress and The Eternal Night, on Podbean and Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Expect an announcement regarding Superhero Stress here in the coming days. There's going to be some changes happening, so yep, keep an eye on that. And I'll probably be on the 4 Nerds Network show this Thursday.
There you go. Ryan, where can they find you if you make it home alive?
If I'm still living, which I'm not home yet, but if I'm still living, you can find me on TikTok, on ZebraFett. You can follow me on Twitter. Man, let me know what you have to say, dude. Hit me up. Let me know if you agree with anything I fucking said. I don't say I don't give a shit, but I will engage with you. I'll talk with you, and we'll work this shit out, man. We're gonna fucking get through this. I tell you that. And I'll be on 4 Nerds on Thursday.
Oh, there we go. I will also be on 4 Nerds this Thursday, and you can find me right here on the Nicotina Show on TNS Primetime on Mondays.
Primetime, baby.
Primetime. You can find us right here on the Nicotina Show. Like, share, subscribe, become a Patreon. I'm going to do another tinfoil hat theory tonight. Just something to read about. And like I said, if I hear anything that's legitimate, I'm going to share it on Patreon. Because anything I hear, I just pass it right along. Like, hey, I'm hearing this. It sounds real. You guys, take it with a grain of salt. Make what you want of it. But definitely join the Patreon and become a member of the channel to help support the channel. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Ryan, do you have any last words of wisdom for everybody as they shuffle out of here?
Love what you like and like what you love, and yeah, just be excellent to each other.
Hey, yo! Shut the fuck up!